It's always a pleasure to be here, and I miss it when I'm not here. This center it feeds me. So it's always a pleasure to be back. And it seems like I've been away a lot recently. All right, so we're talking about the power to the people for this month. And today's talk is about personal power. Thank you, Jeannie. I like the way you presented those areas. Very nice. When I think about the divine presence, and we call it God, one of the things that really came to me was that we have a tendency, I have a tendency, and I think a lot of us do. I heard a lot of it when I was home. We have that God is some kind of entity, Entity is very narrow-minded. God is everything. If it is, it's God. It is the energy of life. It is the non-energy of life. Whatever you think of and whatever you bring into your mind, it is that presence. And I read this from home, one of my little books from home. He said, there is a presence pervading all things. This presence is God. There is an intelligence running through all. This intelligence is God. There is a power sustaining all. This power is God. There is a unity binding all into one perfect whole. This unity is God. To understand and to be aware that existence is God and non-existence is God. Anything that you can name or come up with is the divine presence. It is like, I first came into this, I felt like that God was just the good part. And then I got to the idea that maybe it was a little bit more. But when I finally came into understanding that existence is God and life is what we do with it, and that everything that I say, do, and express comes out of this presence. And the whole concept is that how we live this presence is what the journey is. And the image, and that concept, what I understood, I grasped that. The idea of in the image of God means that I am creating this experience that I am living. In other words, this is that component of life that is how I demonstrate the divine presence. And it's kind of like it frees me. No matter what I do, it is the divine presence. No matter how I live, it is the divine presence coming into expression. Now I can make this peaceful, harmonious, and what I'm learning is according to my thinking and my understanding and my faith that the experience of this presence comes forth. And so this power that I'm utilizing, I'm always using it. I'm always using it according to how I have faith and how I think. Now, the journey of this spiritual path that I'm on is if I want to be good and harmonious, I learned that unity that you said you tap into in that fourth state. I learn and understand it and embrace the idea and become willing to have faith that that's going to flow through me. And it's that component that makes this philosophy so powerful, that gives us the freedom to be on this journey and enjoy it and appreciate it. And we define things according to our own understanding and thinking. Oh, God, it is amazing how sometimes I can get caught up in what's outside. And then I remember what's inside. And then what's outside settles down and flows. I had the most vivid example of that in the last 2 weeks. I went home to bury my one of my nephews, grandnephews, who made his transition. When I heard it, it was a little bit like a crazy person, I call it. I was screaming and crying and hollering, and I could not believe that this is happening. And then in the family, we all kind of stand together. Then I recognized, okay, what am I doing here? What am I getting out of this? What is Spirit's message to me? That's when I settled down and began to listen. And the first thing that came to me is, that was his choice, not mine. I need to free somebody to do that. Free somebody to be who and what they are. And it isn't my job to fix them. So I am going through this experience, and when I got on the other side of my drama self, I realized that what I give power to is what comes in experience. And if I have faith that the divine presence is always taking me through these experiences, that I may gain an awareness, I may expand my understanding of its presence, then the outcome becomes totally different. I am telling you, it is so different. It is in that energy that you're talking about. When you get there, it is like, whoa. It's amazing how it shifts. And the flow of life, it was one of the most profound examples of allowing Spirit to flow through me. Because it was like when I felt there and I was home and I was with all the younger generation. And that younger generation was loving and supporting and nurturing. And you know what? I sat down and I listened to all the beautiful things they were sharing with each other about the one that passed on. And he told me this and he did this. And I said, wow, this is the part. That is fabulous. And it really was interesting because I have nurtured students through their experience of losing a friend or a thing on my campus. And that's usually what I do. I sat them down and said, let's talk about what that person left you. And I said, oh, I should listen to me sometime. Because it is so amazing what this power is about, that tuning into it, Actually, that's what I was supposed to be talking about this morning. I'm supposed to be leading up to that. But tuning into this power, being able to let it, to consciously let it flow. When I stand up here, I can feel it. I can feel it. And I have enough faith in it that if I stand up here and say, all right, Spirit, what it is that I have to say, I know what it's going to say. And whatever it says, I'm all right with it. So I have been really trying to figure out how to do it out there or in my house or in my groups. So, I'm beginning to get it. Is that faith that it's always going to be there. That sense that no matter what, whether it's fear, anger, or whatever I'm going through, that faith, that divine presence is going to flow forth. It's what tells me, look at it and say, okay, what am I learning from this? What am I gaining from this? Oh, what is trying to, as Michael Beckworth, what is trying to emerge from me, from this experience that I'm going through? That is the question that I find myself asking more and more. I know, and I really, really understand that this presence is no such thing as it being separate. It is learning how, the spiritual path is learning how to let it, live from that grace of it, the grace of its presence, the grace of how it can flow through us in everything we do, every experience we experience, every sense of our emotion. And when I finally got there, I said, oh, wow. My nephew on that side is doing fine. It's how we doing here. It's worse. He is doing perfectly fine. I am on this side with these, and it was since I was especially close to this one, I think all of my family was looking at me like, what's she going to do? Even the young ones. But when I relaxed and start looking at being the one that was encouraging and lifting everybody up, it was like my whole family said, ah. But actually, you know what I realized? When I said, the people around me said, too. That is the privilege and the honor we have in working with this power of being, that power that is always in us. When we can relax and let it be, it is that. We are the creators. Oh my God, that is so awesome to know that we are creating even those kind of experiences. We are creating everything that comes forth into expression. And to grasp this from the place of trusting, that's another good word. Trust it. Trusting it. It is awesome to trust it. It never fails to deliver. It never, ever fails to deliver. It can't. It has no choice. It's non, how do you say that? I can't remember the term. But anyway, it's not, I can't remember, what's this word? In other words, it is not figuring out, I should take it this way, I just take it away. It says, I should deliver what the thought is. I should deliver what the spirit is. I should deliver what the feeling is. So it's not just the words. It is the thoughts and energy that we place, the whole beingness of us that we flow into it. And I've learned that too, that how we feel, I mean, we can say the positive words, but that feeling has to go with it. And it flows. I think that one of the things that, when we talk about this power that I'm supposed to be talking about now, the power is the life we're living. We are living it from this power, utilizing this power to experience everything that we do. As we, as individuals, learn that this fourth step, as she was describing, is allowing His presence to flow through us into expression. My first introduction to trying to do that was through I don't know if you know Carolyn Mays and how she, and I was at a talk, and sometimes she made me so angry during the talk. But then she said, "Stop acting like you want to do it. Just do it." So I said, okay. Okay. I'll try. And I started, and the first thing I said, I'll try. And I said, oh, wow, look what I did. I took it back from her, and I'm back into trying. So what I did with that was I came back here, and when there was nobody here, I came here many Saturdays, many 9 o'clock at night sometimes, and just stand up here and practice letting Spirit speak to me. Because I found that standing up here or sitting down, and sometimes I would just sit there, I could sense it. I could sense that there was a presence. And then I just trusted and said whatever came into my head. And I practiced until I said, oh, this is really real. And when I got up to do this talk today, I sat at my table and I said, okay, I want to feel it right here at this table. I want to feel it so strongly that I know that exactly what I choose to do flows with ease and grace. The first thing it said was, stop trying to write what you're going to do then, because what you're doing now is doing now. Let go of there and stay here. I said, oh. So what I felt like I was doing, I was breathing in and breathing out, and I started paying attention to the breathing in and breathing out. And so it took me back to being right there. And I was sitting at that table. I felt there was a greater me that was doing the body and sending responding to the thoughts. And I felt like whatever was in my heart would be that which would come forth into expression. So it was so real. And I knew, not necessarily that I come here, and when I look at the faces out here, y'all know Spirit. I don't need to tell y'all about that. But I love the idea of sharing how I'm experiencing it with you. And the way the heads are shaking, you all know about that too. It's time, and it's the energy and the awareness and the understanding of putting this to work in every aspect of our lives. It not only affects us, I'm finding it affects everybody around me. I saw that affect my family. I was just saying, thank you, God. I thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I couldn't thank it enough. Because it's one of the most powerful experiences I have ever had of Spirit just flowing through me and seeing it and feeling it. I mean, the smiles, the joys, and the happy incidents, and all that. It was just flowing. We had a memorial service. We cried, we laughed, we rejoiced, and we celebrated. And the spirit of life was fully present in every aspect of it. It's so real. And it's so worth every effort we can ever put into allowing it to express and come forth. And it's just getting to that place, that fourth level of awareness. It's awesome. I called it grace. It is grace. It's always waiting for us to grace is always there. It just waits for us to recognize it and claim it. It's grace. And I thank y'all for letting me be here and share my journey of spiritual understanding. And it's so nice to look in the faces, and I'm looking at now and seeing it reflected back to me so powerfully. I see it in everybody's face. Y'all know the grace of the divine. So let's welcome ourselves back to